All right, guys, today we are going to be reacting to She Wants to Be Provided For, but offers nothing in return. Let's jump in.
Going back, when they asked you what you bring to the table is eventually, do you want the traditional role of you're going to be the homemaker, you're going to be cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids, while your husband is going to be going to work and providing for you?
Yeah, I kind of already have that mentality. Like, once I don't no longer want to work, and I want that choice to be like up to me. If I don't want to work, I don't have to.
Okay, so I'll get back to my question. So, when did you start dating?
15.
15. And was the expectation at 15, when you were dating guys in high school who probably didn't have a job, that they should be financially supporting you and providing?
In whatever way that they can.
So how would that look even at 15?
So at 15, I mean, we both still had the same values. Like, he knew that that's what the expectation is. But at 15, like, it would just be like him courting me, taking me on dates.
Courting you, taking you on
treating
dates?
me like a gentleman, would. Being respectful of me, and
yeah. Okay. So just as far as the being able to financially support and provide, is that like just paying for dates, or was there expectations that he like pay your car bill, pay for, trying to think, I don't know, your nails done, stuff like that, or no?
I wouldn't require, like, for example, like nail stuff. Like, those I think are things that I could take care of myself, but it's obviously like a nice gesture if they can and appreciated. I would say more so like those things fall into like once I'm living with somebody, that's like, no, yeah, I would expect them to be able to sustain like household amenities, the rent, all of that.
And what's the age range that you want to date?
That I want to date? I'm dating.
Okay, how old's he?
The person that I'm dating? He's 25.
No.
Okay.
No. The person that you dated. I mean, oh my goodness. Yeah. Is it me, or there's a lack of communication skills, I guess, right? Like, is there a lack of communication? Because clearly he's communicating very, very efficiently. And this is something that I noticed, and also on Fresh and Fit, I noticed this as well, where the females are having a lot of problems trying to get some of these questions through their head. So,
and before that, have you dated anybody older, or?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I've obviously dated before, like, and I've only dated older.
Okay. All right. Because I was going to say, I mean, you're 22, you're still in college.
Yeah.
The expectation that a man who's in college to financially support and provide could be difficult, but it sounds like you do have a tendency to date older men. One question for you, going back to some of this conversation around submission, you said a man should have the ability to financially support and provide for their partner. I want to get a show of hands from the table here. Should men financially support and provide and protect for their partner? Show of hands. And then now, do you agree with the following statement? Women should be virgins. They should be submissive. They should cook. They should clean. And what else? What else should they be? I think that's a good, those four things. They should be virgins. They should be submissive. Then they should cook, and they should clean.
How about just those two? How about just we start with those two?
Just virgin and submissive?
Yeah.
We can, okay, we'll keep it to those two. Any objections from any of the fifth one that they should not be involved in work. Any objections to the following, any of the following?
By submissive, you mean like roles? Sorry, not to.
Well, but it's like, y'all women love to say men should do X, Y, Z, but if men say women should do X, Y, Z, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's kind of sexist that you think women should have to clean, or should have to cook, or should have to take care of the household.
I think you're describing a perfect woman And then a lot of women are describing a perfect man. When I want a man who's strong and going to protect me, and he's loyal, and he's
Really? Heath describing a perfect woman. Not me, I don't already married, but some of these folks are just asking for the minimum. That's because that's minimum, folks.
got these Christian values, and he's got lots of money, and he's going to pay for me to get my nails done, and all that kind of stuff. And I think what you're describing would be, a very perfect woman. And we obviously live in a real world where a lot of people aren't perfect, but I don't think the idea of that's what a perfect woman is,
that's
is
coping.
wrong.
That's a
And
gaslight.
as
I'm
an
going to have to
idea.
give a little pushback here.
Yep.
I think that the amount of men which you could shake a tree and would fall out that have some kind of Christian values and are willing to provide for their their women is pretty overwhelming, honestly. I think that the amount, if there was a tree of men that you could shake, I think that you would, when you shook it, most of the men that popped out would be those kinds of men who could provide for you and have some kind of Christian values, right?
I mean, everybody could have their preference. There's nothing wrong if they want that, but not everybody's going to be in that category.
Hang on. We'll get right back to this. I'd like to finish the exchange though, real quick. So, assuming that that's true, right? That they would be willing to provide.
Andrew was looking for that back and forth with her, especially with her. Let's see. In the next reaction, he can get a little bit more from her, because there's something about her. She's like a fox, right? I don't know how to. I'm just getting my perception on this. She's like a fox. Like, she's trying to pretend this facade, a very nice girl, but there's something about her. It's not.
And they had some sort of moral values. I don't think we're talking about the perfect man here, right? We're not saying that they have to be 6'3". We're not saying that they have to make $1 million a year. We're not saying that they have to have perfectly chiseled abs. It's actually a pretty low standard that you're saying here, that they just provide some kind of living for the woman and have some sort of Christian values. That's an awful lot of men.
Yeah.
Do you think it's an awful lot of women who are virgins and would be submissive, though?
I'd like to
That's
really
not
speak
hang on.
about
There, you see.
Answer.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. You see how they jump into the conversation? They're protecting each other, folks. They're protecting each other. She know that she's gonna get on, but they protect each other. Fascinating.
Who?
No, I don't think there are, and I think that was one of the things I wanted to was a talking point that I was happy to get into on this show, was that I think society and just modern feminism is kind of telling everyone, you don't need to be this, you don't need to be that, but men do want women like that, and nobody wants to admit it, or women don't want to admit it and say, men want women like that. So I do.
Yeah, but going back to your earlier point, you were kind of trying to make the argument that, this is the perfect rendition, right? If men have these values, they're the perfect man. If women have these values,
No, I can rephrase that to
and so
be
what I
ideal.
think was happening there was a great conflation, right? Is that you were basically trying to say, well, we're on par with each other because there's very few men who would actually do this, just like there's very few women who are available to have these traits. But that's just clearly not true. Right?
No, I didn't say that. So I do agree with you that there would be more men who would be happy to provide, and everything you've said. Yeah. And I think women are much fussier when it comes to dating. So that's why it may seem.
Well, then why did you say it's the perfect man?
I would, woman, after what you said, I would rephrase it to say that would be ideal, and then ideal woman. So
I'll give it to her. She took accountability, and remember, folks, when they take accountability and they say, okay, I think I messed up, we have to give it to them, because that means that show character, some kind of character, right? But let's keep our eyes open and see what happens.
But I do agree that there are very likely more men who would have those traits than there would be women.
Overwhelmingly more men.
I feel like because you kind of described the perfect woman, and we know most women aren't virgins. So it's
That's
she's
true.
looking at it okay, you're describing a perfect woman, so maybe you're trying to say that it's the perfect
Well, I don't think. Hang on.
I wanna
So,
add something. What is the male
here's the
equivalent of a
thing.
virgin?
Perfect meaning without flaw.
Protector.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just because something is rare doesn't mean it's perfect.
Exactly.
So I don't think that just because a woman is submissive and a virgin, she's a perfect woman.
Yeah.
She can still be an annoying, right? She could still cause all kinds.
He had to say that because he personally, I think what he's trying to do is just establish the energy of the room. He's not there, of course, in the room, but somehow establish that he doesn't give a damn of their beauty. That's a subtle neg, very subtle.
Kinds of problems for people. She could be terrible, right? In all sorts of ways.
Personality.
I wouldn't say that makes her perfect. I wouldn't say that just because it's rare that makes it perfect. So no, I think
I would
that
rephrase it to say ideal.
Yeah, well, I don't even think it's ideal. I think it's just what there would be a normal expectation of, okay, if you want to be provided for, I want you to not have taken 50, right? Like, that's just, doesn't that seem totally reasonable? Doesn't that seem totally reasonable? Yeah, it does, right? It seems totally reasonable.
Total reasonable. Yeah. It's just, if you're carrying body bags, man, you're carrying a lot of body bags. And then say I'm an angel, man. There's something wrong. Like there has to be something wrong with you. No way you can just simply be in a situation like this or in a conversation like this and not agree with something very basic as recognizing that a lot of body counts is not ideal. It's not ideal. It's like saying, guys, hey guys, if you don't make no money, somehow you're gonna be preferable, right? That's some kind of equivalent. If the guy's not providing, you cannot expect the female to really kind of respect you in a way or be very attractive or create attraction, I must say. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear you guys' opinion. In the meantime, guys, I will see you in the next one.